The entire testimony, like, you got to watch it, bro. If you haven't watched it, you can listen to my commentary or somebody else's take on it. But you either watch it or you read the transcript or you
Yo,
accept the commentary. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
I swear to you, I just seen Tory Lanez join the live. I swear.
Nah.
I swear. It says Tory Lanez joined. I swear.
Yeah, I see it. I'm not even touching that.
It's probably not him. It's probably not him.
Do it. Should I do it?
Yo, it's probably not him. It's probably a rep.
No, gotta do it. Yo, I'm gonna do it, Ak. I'm gonna do it. Let's see. Because this came up during the trial. There was a post, and the investigators like, look, there's a little blue check mark. That's how I know it's Tory. And I'm just thinking, yo, we just had this whole Twitter blue verified fake account bullshit, and now I've got the Tory Lanez check mark account in the live.
I can definitely attest, though, like, one of Tory Lanez's associates controls his Twitch. Like, Tory doesn't even know how to log in on Twitch.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit go live with Tory Lanez. Let's see what happens. I hit it. I don't know. Maybe he left. I don't know.
No. Hey, okay. No. Okay. So seriously. So let's get back to this, right? What do you think constitutes, like, if so, on a juror's perspective, you have the AZ picture of what's happening. What constitutes possession of the weapon? Because
that's a good question. I'll tell you, I didn't listen that carefully to the jury instruction on possession. I mean, I heard it. He basically said, first off, he said that he's being charged with possession of a weapon in a vehicle. There's no possession charge here. The only charge actually is possession in a vehicle. And it looks like the prosecutors are not trying at all to prove possession based on a tussle or even possession outside of the assault. The possession charge seems limited to this idea that the car was registered to Tory, the gun is found in the car, and so he had it. Now, I don't think the jury is going to go for that at all. That charge sounds dead, and I don't think the prosecutors give a shit about that charge. The two charges that I think that are in play are, did he point this gun and know when he pointed it that it was going to hit this person, or at least had the potential to hit this person, or two, did he discharge a firearm with gross negligence? I think that charge is in play because there are some people who, like King Solomon, will want to split this baby, and they don't necessarily understand reasonable doubt, and they say, you know what, both of y'all look dirty, and they might take that lesser charge. I don't know what the penalty there is. It's a very, I think, way lesser charge, but it's in play.
Is that charge, would it include, let's say, and again, we're going on these multiple theories that's floating around. Let's say, okay, 3 shots got fired by allegedly Kelsey, then allegedly Tory wrestles a gun away from her. She's going back to fight. He pops 2 shots in the air, right? Which is kind of like what maybe Sean Kelly's seen something like that, even though he said 4 to 5. But let's say he shot in the air. Would that be considered gross negligence in discharge of firearm?
That's a great question. I don't know. I do know that there's sort of 2 elements to it. I think you could get, I'm not sure here. I'm a civilian just kind of giving a guess. I think
California.
Yeah, it's California. I don't know. I think, and it was hard to follow the instructions. I think there's a 2-parter to the discharge charge. One is just recklessly discharging a firearm. Okay. And then I think there's an enhancement with the possibility of great bodily injury. So I think there's no doubt that there's no great bodily injury. If you're waving a gun and shooting in the air, it's not great bodily injury. If anything, it's, everybody needs to chill the fuck out, all right? Everybody calm down. I just got this gun off this maniac, and now I'm shooting shots in the air to calm down. But there might be a reckless discharge. I got to tell you, the jury instructions, bro, I'm a whole fucking attorney deeply invested in this case. I can't imagine the jury understood the elements of the charges because I've really got it. I think you got to sit down with the paper and break it down.
Wow. So all that conversation about the bags, right? Was the guns in the bags? Because honestly, coming into this, I thought the narrative was going to be the gun belonged to the security guard. That makes sense. That kind of does make sense, right? But after I noticed that they never talked about, oh, it's registered to so-and-so, that felt like a problem, like maybe stolen gun, maybe serial number filed off. Then we get to here it's just an unregistered gun. Bodyguard doesn't testify. Do you think it's likely that the jury's gonna go with the, hey, maybe they did pack it in one of these Louis bags in the back seat that eventually moved?
Yeah, I thought the gun being somebody else's is a bit of a losing argument until this piece of the bags being moved. EJ, Meg's stylist, assistant, whatever we want to call him, testified that I moved the bags from my trunk into the trunk of the SUV behind the third row. And we see in the pictures that these two bags, a Louis bag and like a metal roller bag. I think Rimowa makes the ones that a lot of people maybe knock off. Rimowa is the brand that you might be familiar with. So that Rimowa bag and the LV bag get from behind the third row in the trunk of the Escalade to now in between the two middle seats. And that's weird as fuck because nobody changed clothes. They were only in the car for only so much time. I'm not quite sure what reason or how those bags get moved from there to the middle. So that is interesting. It does lead to the credibility that the gun was in the bag and then the bag gets moved and that's how the gun comes into play. But there's also the issue of male contributors' DNA on the gun. So I don't know that that's going to go anywhere. I think what this case comes down to for me, I just made a video about it. Meg said that I got out of that car. I took a couple steps. A few seconds later, I looked over my shoulder and there was Tory pointing a gun at me and fired 5 times. Okay, great. An eyewitness came and he said, I was woken in the middle of the night by 2 women fighting. I walked out onto my Juliet balcony. I saw their fight, their verbal argument. I'm sorry. He said, I woke up in the middle of the night to 2 women arguing. I walked out onto my balcony. I saw their argument escalate and then they were engaged in a violent physical altercation, the 2 women. I saw the larger man, Quan, the security guard, tells us none of that. Ryan Kelly told that to Detective Stogner. Ryan Kelly told that to the police. The LA County District Attorney knew that, and yet, and still, the police and the District Attorney never asked Meg, hey, Meg, you told us that seconds after you got...
You threw up YSL, 2 charges, nigga, not 1, 2.
Remember? Out of the car, arguing, escalated in an argument, got into a physical altercation with Kelsey. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And to me, how does this case not end the moment we have that contradiction?
Okay, all right. So now, and I know certain people feel like I'm anti-Meg, but let me play devil's advocate, right? And then I want you to play the district attorney, right? Okay, say I'm Meg and I'm like, hey, listen, I was wasted that night, right? I only remember some of the things that are traumatizing. I might have fought, but I don't know. A lot of times when you're intoxicated, you're skipping through moments in that night. Say she's not purposely omitting info, but she tells the district attorney, hey, listen, I hop out the car. The only thing I remember, I looked over my shoulder. Now, granted, the dance thing is seemingly performative, but whatever. This is my question to you, right? You know she's intoxicated, or you had to know. I know Stogner said that wasn't a point of concern.
Yes, Stogner said, why would I care if the witnesses and the victim are drunk? Who cares? Why would I check their social media? What does social media have to do with anything, Ack? Why would I check people's social media to investigate?
Okay.
I got a witness, and she has high-profile lawyers and big-time publicists, and they're telling me to, prosecute.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you. Okay, so I tell you that story, right? If you then talk to Kelsey, even though apparently you got that statement, like, was it 2 months ago, 3 months ago? And Kelsey tells you something completely different that actually lines up a little bit more with Sean Kelly about a fight. And you realize there are, I won't say holes because it's not like she said, well, maybe she did say there was definitely no fight, but you realize Meg's story isn't completely aligning with the events that night. Would you would you continue to pursue this?
No. And this is my point. But how the case got pursued, the LAPD was not diligent. The eyewitness told you about an argument between two women, about that escalating, about a physical altercation between two women. How do you not ask either of those women about that? What the fuck? At this point, I don't care if we have video of everything that happened before the moments that Tory takes out a gun and says, "You people are crazy, everybody stop," and he fires in the air and a bullet ricochets and somehow hits Megan. The entire investigation is shit.
Hey,
Dude,
I have a theory.
yeah.
My theory says that the prosecutor omitted some of the behavior that night, and also narratives that played that incident because of really the culture we live in. If in your narrative you're pretty much slut shaming Meg, you're also calling her drunk, even if she was legitimately a victim. These are things that kind of contribute, because think about her opening statement. Yo, she just insulted his music. He pops out a gun, dance bitch dance. Come on now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they didn't even want to acknowledge that maybe there was a situation where there was one guy messing with two women. One woman was probably upset at the other woman saying, "Hey, you've done this before." Again, that I think publicly that would make Meg, in this culture where and make her look a little bit like she's promiscuous, and maybe they're trying to stay away from that. But if you're trying to paint an accurate narrative of why she would be in a position where she could get shot, you need to say that. So, like, I can't see any other reason why they wouldn't use that info.
Listen, bro, a week and a half of this trial, and I truly believe, I don't understand how you don't ask two women about the fight that the eyewitness saw. If a gun went off and a man denies shooting the gun, and your only eyewitness says that this all started with two women arguing, escalation, two women fighting, I saw it, it was outside my house, and you interview the victim and you don't ask her that. Come on, bro. What how am I supposed to believe your investigation at this point?
Hey, you were there and present for the federal trial for Youngboy. What do you think is more of a shit show?
No, the Youngboy trial, that's federal court. The judge did a phenomenal job. The attorneys were, the attorneys were phenomenal. Youngboy's attorneys were phenomenal attorneys. And the prosecutors, they were kind of like, the prosecutors, everybody wanted to get a go. It's like, hey, we got this big profile trial, let's give everybody a go. And so the prosecution's case in the Youngboy trial was a bit of a circus because it was unnecessarily complicated by all these attorneys having a go. But that wasn't a circus. That was a pretty clean trial. It was very orderly run. This is a circus. Let's recap. We had a Hollywood starlet come in with VIP treatment that I've never seen before for a victim. The courtroom was flooded by media and PR and district attorneys who all seemed very much like they wanted to build the nicest, most warm environment for this victim to testify. We come to find out this victim should have been questioned as a suspect for crimes that night, but who cares, I guess. After the Hollywood starlet comes and testifies under all this fanfare, we get her best friend saying that she's not going to testify because she's going to take the fifth. And then they give her immunity, and then she testifies and apparently lies through her teeth all day, all night. The following day, we get an eyewitness who nobody knew. Apparently, this man was just 10, 15 feet away watching all of these events unfold. He testifies. Nobody can make sense of his testimony. Today, we get Tory not testifying. We get Quan coming. The twists, the turns, better than a Hollywood movie, man. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah, definitely a documentary has to come out of this. Hey, so yesterday, apparently at the end of the day, right? I believe it's the DA, was it Alexander Bott? He was complaining saying he's getting bullied by the other dude.
Look, I don't know if he's getting bullied or not, but when you don't play your game, you start having little complaints. That man should play his game, and maybe he's not doing a good job of it. So he wanted to make a little record of personal insults that he felt were had. no big deal. Nothing to see there. The judge really didn't entertain it. I thought it was childish. Yo, I got to dip back to court. Always a pleasure, my brother.
All right, yeah, we'll link up. We'll link up.